Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Friday Lunch and Learn sponsored by the Do Space. My name is Julie, and I'll be your facilitator today. Uh, the Lunch and Learn topic for today is working together with Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. So I have several different demonstrations that we are going to view. If there's something in particular that you would like me to cover, feel free to put that in the chat. I do have the chat open. This is being recorded, so if you would like a copy of it, you will need to contact the Do Space. You can also email me at any time with questions concerning any Friday Lunch and Learn topic at jdospace@gmail.com. So a few of the things that we're going to look at today are going to be looking at Word and Excel, mail merge, Excel and PowerPoint, linking graphics and charts, linking within PowerPoint, linking files in Microsoft Office. And also have a PDF file that we are going to import into Microsoft Excel. So lots of fun things to talk about today. Again, if you do have questions, feel free to put them in the chat and I'd be happy to address your questions. First thing we're going to start off with is a mail merge. So I'm going to show you the two files that we will be working with. I have just a template here for a fundraiser that the participants, that folks have donated an item to. And in this letter, we are thanking them for their participation. And we are going to address take their name from a Microsoft Excel worksheet, along with the item that they donated, the donation value and the category, and the number of tickets they would like to receive for attending the fundraising event. Now, with the mail merge, I'm going to go ahead and show you that file so we can take a look at it. We have the participant. So we have the donor ID. We won't need to use all of these fields. We've got the first name, the last name, the address, city, state, zip code, the phone number, the item that they donated, the item value, the number of people attending, and I have, you can with the mail merge, you have the opportunity to print the letters, or you can email them. So what I've done is I have an Outlook account, and so I have my email address in here because obviously the rest of this data is fictitious. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to close that. And we will come back into Microsoft Word. Now in Microsoft Word, you have several ribbons. Now, if you're looking at my ribbons and comparing them to yours at home or at work, I may have a few more than what you have. But what we're looking for is the mailings ribbon. And when you click on the mailings ribbon, most of the options in the mailings ribbon are grayed out or they're not available. And the reason for this is because we don't have any data loaded. So we don't have any data to work with. So the first thing we want to do is to focus our attention on the start mail merge. So I'm going to come over here to start mail merge. And we're going to come to the second option, which is select recipients. Now you can type a new list in Microsoft Word. However, most companies probably have a database that you can extract this information from, or maybe something that you've been compiling for quite some time. So we're going to go ahead and select use an existing list, and that list is going to be the list that I just showed you a couple of minutes ago. Now, when you're in the mail merge and you go to select recipients, it defaults to the documents in the My Data Sources. So you will need to browse out to your documents. So I'm just going to come over here to Do Space Presentations. And then working together with Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. And I'm looking for the mail merge data. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to double click on mail merge data. It will populate this window and it says, okay, which do you want to use? And the worksheet in the workbook is called merge data. The other thing that you want to make sure is that you have a check mark in the first row of data contains column headers. So I refer to those as fields. They are also column headers. So everything is set up here. So we're just going to go ahead and click on OK. It's going to load our data and you're not really going to see anything happen, but if you weren't blinking, you may note that now we have underneath the right and insert, we have several different options because we've loaded our data. So we went ahead and we did the start mail merge. So now we're going to direct our attention over here to the right and insert fields. And on the right and insert fields, I just want to go ahead and show you underneath insert merge field. These should look very familiar to you. Donor ID, first name, last name, address, city, state, zip code, and so on. Those are all of the fields that were in the Excel workbook that I showed you. So it loaded these items one by one. Now, if you want to put a return address in, you can use something called an address block. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on that. And what's going to happen is it's going to populate this window. So it has my first name, my last name, the address, the city, the state, and the zip code. Now, I will tell you that depending on what you called your fields, everything may not match up. So what you're going to want to do is to come in here to match fields. And it's important that you go in and match the fields. For instance, I've used this for a demonstration before, and that's why they are they're matched up. So with the postal code, if it's not matched, I'm just going to go ahead and say not matched and click on OK, and I'll show you what's going to happen. And now I don't have a postal code. And the reason for that is because Microsoft Office refers to the zip code as a postal code. If the field names do not match, then it will not appear in your mail merge. However, you can force them to match. I can click on the down arrow and I can say, okay, postal code is the same as zip code. So now, when I click on OK, it will show that. And you can go through and you can look at all of your previews. I think I only have 10 or 11 people in here. So looking at all of the previews is not real time consuming. But if you've got a lot of people, you might want to just have trust that everybody's going to be lined up just fine. So again, that's in the match fields. Now you'll also note that in the match fields, there are a lot of different options. So my database is pretty simple and to the point, but you can go in and you can put in a lot of information. But remember, if something's not showing, you're going to want to go into this match fields and make sure that it's showing the way that you are expecting it to print. Now, the other option is that you have over here on the left-hand side, you have the option on how the recipient's name is on the mail merge. So you can have it Mr. or Mrs. Now, it's not changing this to Miss or Mrs. because I don't have that field. But when you think about, the different reasons why you might use this, I could just go with the first name, but obviously we want the first and the last name. Different reasons that you would use this. If you're using it for a formal invitation, such as, a wedding or a graduation, anniversary party, some things like that, you might want it to be a little bit more formal. If it's for a 4th of July get together, you might want a little less informal. It just kind of depends on what you're doing. So as you're putting together your database, those are some things that you want to make sure and think about. The other thing that I want to talk about just for a minute, okay, well, I clicked on, here's address block, so it did not put the address in here, it simply is reserving that spot for the address. If I want to, I can come up here on preview results, and it will show me what it's going to look like. So here's my first letter, my second letter, my third letter. Again, you can go through all 10, but it looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and take the preview results off, and we're just going to leave that placeholder there for address block. The other thing that I want to mention, let me go ahead and open this again. Oops. Data. Is that when you put this together, make sure that you use for each column, you want to separate out your information. So you don't want to put the first name, the last name, the address, the city, state, zip, all in one column. You want to make sure that you break this down into small bite-sized pieces, so to speak, and that you dedicate a column for each item. That is particularly true in this example. That's also true for Excel overall. You don't want to combine a lot of data into one. And that's a story for an Excel webinar, but make sure that you break that down into smaller pieces so that you're not combining like the address, city, state, zip, some things like that. All right, then what I did was I placed my cursor just to the left of the comma. And I'm going to come up and I am going to go to Insert Merge Field. And I'm just going to tell it that I want the first name. Now, the one thing that you have to be cognizant of is that you are responsible as the end user, you're responsible for putting in spaces. So I just hit the space bar. If you were watching my cursor, you notice that it went over one space. And then I'm going to come up and I'm going to click on last name. All right. So that's going to insert the first name and the last name. Then I'm going to place my cursor down here by item that you donated. And I'm going to come up to insert merge fields. Now, some people have the tendency to click right on top of insert merge field. To me, this is one extra step. Because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find the item that I donated. So I'm going to click on item donated and insert, and then I have to close this in order to move to the next step. It is 100% up to you. I tend not to open that window. I tend to click on the down arrow because I think it's a little bit faster and more convenient. But again, it's whatever you're comfortable with. Then I'm going to go to your donation, item value, and category. So I'm going to come back up to insert merge field. And I'm looking for the item value. So I'm going to put in the item value. Then I'm going to put in maybe a couple of spaces, and I'm looking for the category. All right. Then I'm going to come down here to how many tickets do we want. Now, you probably don't want this line in there. And so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Let's see. Oh, not underline. There we go. Go back to the mailings and merge fields and number attending. We'll just put a space in there. That's the information. We have our address block. We have our first name and our last name. We have the item that we donated, our item value, our category, and the number attending. Now, if you need to delete one of these, you certainly can. And that's simply by placing your cursor just to the right of the field that you want to delete, and you can hit backspace and it will highlight it. And if you hit backspace one more time, it will delete it. And I'm just going to go ahead and undo that and bring that back because we want our category in there. Before I actually complete the mail merge, I'm going to go ahead and preview. And the reason that I want to preview is because you might have noticed that in my Excel worksheet, I did not apply currency to the item value. But the reason for that is because it does not carry over to during the mail merge. So we're going to have to manually put that in. But before I merge these, we want to put a dollar sign in there. So I'm just, my cursor is placed just before the item, and I'm going to put in a dollar sign. Now, when I preview, see, it's got that dollar sign in there. Again, I only have 10 people, but if you got, you know, you don't want to have to go in and edit these letters. So you want to make sure that everything is perfect before you complete the mail merge. Again, right now we're in the preview results. The next step that we want to take, welcome if you're just joining us. The next step that we want to take is to go to finish and merge. And you can edit the individual documents. You can print the documents, which means that they're going to go directly to your printer. So you want to make sure that everything's right. If you want to send them to the printer, that's great. Or as I said earlier, you can send them via email. The first thing we're going to look at is the edit individual documents. When you choose this, it says, okay, what documents do you want to merge? We obviously want all of them. Now, when I click on OK, what's going to happen is it's going to, Microsoft Word is going to open another document. It will be called Letters 1. Notice that this particular document is called Merge Letter. So when I click on OK, there is my Letters 1. Now, my letters are on individual pages in Microsoft Word. So here's my first person, my second person, third, and so on. At this point, I can go ahead and send them to the printer and print them this way. Now, here's something that you are going to have to do a little, you might want to reword that. Or you might want to put one ticket or tickets in parentheses like this so that you don't have to go in and make those edits. Again, I've already completed my merge, so I would have to go in and edit this. Checking to make sure if there's any questions. We're almost to the bottom here. Okay, so that's my letters 1. And again, I can print that if I want to. I'm just going to go ahead and close it. We don't need to save that. And I'm back to my sample. The other option, and I'm not going to send these to my printer because I don't want to print 10 pages of something that I do not need. But we can send email messages. So when I click on email, it will populate this window. So I'm moving everything around here because my Zoom toolbar is a little bit in the way. And what it's saying is, okay, and remember on that, on the workbook that I showed you, I have my email address in one of the fields. And then in the subject line, going to say fundraiser. And mail format, we can just go with HTML, that's fine. How many records do you want to send? I want to send all of them. So I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. And it will send those via my, it's working on it. See, it's flipping, it's going through each one. If you're looking at the letters, as it's moving through, we know that it is sending them via my email address. And again, you have to, within the Microsoft Office suite, you will have Outlook. So within Outlook, you'll be able to do that. Unfortunately, there's a way to do it. You can use other emails if you have a Gmail account. I have tried and I have not been successful, but I know that I know that it can be done. I just have not been successful at being able to figure out how to get that done, if that makes sense. But I've worked for, I've done some consulting work for an industry that in the industry that has utilized the mail merge with the Gmail account. So it's at the higher end of the tech skills than what I have, I guess. But if I figure it out, you'll be the first to know, because it would be really nice to be able to use various emails with this option. All right, so again, we started with just your template of your letter. You had all of your addresses. I had all of my addresses in Microsoft Excel. And I combined, I used the information in Microsoft Excel and brought that into Microsoft Word, loaded that through the mailings. Again, you can print them or you can email them at your convenience. It just kind of depending on what you want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and I don't need to save that. Okay. And the next thing we're going to look at is combining or having Microsoft Excel and PowerPoint work together. I have a simple 2020 budget on my screen. I'll make it a little bit bigger for you. So what I want to do is I am going to insert a chart. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to chart my expenses. So I'm going to highlight my expenses. And then I'm going to hold down the control key. And I am going to select my totals. All right. Then when I let up on my mouse, I have both of those selected. The key to selecting the non-adjacent items is holding down the control key. And that is true in any of the Microsoft Office. I shouldn't say all, most of the Microsoft Office applications. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, it definitely is true. So that control key can be a game changer for you. I'm on the insert ribbon and I'm just going to insert a chart. So I'm going to come over here to recommended charts. And I'm going to select the chart that I want to insert. Doesn't matter what chart you use. You can PowerPoint and Excel can talk to one another regardless of which chart you select. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to select the clustered bar and click on OK. I don't want this on top of my data, so I'm going to move the chart to a new worksheet just to make this look a little bit cleaner. And I'm just going to say PowerPoint, for example, and click on OK. All right, so I'm going to make up just a few changes here before we make the connection. I want my chart title to be in there, and this is evidently my 2020 budget. And then rather than having the horizontal axis, I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And I'm going to add in my own data labels. Increase my font size a little bit so it's easier for folks to see. That looks great. Okay, so we have a chart. Now, if you haven't used Excel in the past, I'm just going to show you that if I come back over here to my 2020 budget and I make a change on my on my worksheet. So for example, I'm going to put in here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to insert a row. And I am going to put in my mortgage. So the mortgage, and we'll just throw it, oops, not that much. We'll throw in some numbers there. And we'll move that across to December. Now, I inserted another expense. When I go back to my PowerPoint example, I am going to need to go to select data. And I want to make sure that why didn't that automatically put that in? It did. Oh, put it in, but it didn't. Oh, I must not have a total. Okay, hang on. That's what the problem is. I need to get a total. There we go. All right. So there's my mortgage. So it automatically updated that chart. Now, it will not only update the chart in Excel, but if I link this to PowerPoint, it will also link to PowerPoint. Before I do that, I want to show you just a couple of other examples though. Let's say that in July or in June, the mortgage was paid. So I'm going to come over here to July and I'm going to go all the way over to December. I'm just going to delete that. Reduces that to $10,716. When I go back to my PowerPoint, it did the same thing. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up a blank PowerPoint presentation. Okay, then I am going to go back to Microsoft Excel and I'm going to copy this. So I'm simply going to select the chart, going to copy it. I'm going to go back to PowerPoint, to my blank PowerPoint. We don't need the designer in here, and we can just paste. Now, when you go to paste, there's some different pasting options. You have the ability to keep source format and link data. Okay. So that's the one that I always use, but you want to make sure that you're linking the data. There's two options. You can use destination theme and link data, but you have to link this data. If you paste this as a picture, it is not going to be linked. If you paste it as a picture, it will not change. If you change something in a Microsoft Excel, it is not going to change in PowerPoint. So you need to make sure that you're telling it to link the data. Now, the other thing that I do is I save these in the same folder. So if you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're saving them in the same folder. You probably don't necessarily have to, but that's good file management. And it just kind of is, helps me rest easier in it. Let's put it that way. Now, before I go on and show you how this is linked, you might be saying to yourself, well, why would you want to do this? Why couldn't you just stay in Microsoft Excel and show people or look at these charts? The one thing that you may understand about Microsoft Excel is that a chart or a visual is very powerful. It's much more powerful than looking at the raw data. So if I go back over to my budget, now I can sit here and I can look at this data and I can say, okay, internet I spent $600 on and so on. But if you show somebody a graphic, that is much more powerful, and you can the way that you're visualizing this. So anytime that you can use a visual, especially I say for work related items. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, a chart is worth maybe 2,000 words. Because you can present that data how you want to. And you can manipulate this. It's not something I'm going to go into right now, but something you want to that you want to think about. I use this. I have a spreadsheet and a PowerPoint for a project that I work on, and it's looking at specific numbers. And I do this about once every 3 weeks. Without going into a lot of detail. I look at the various numbers about every 3 weeks. I download the data, put it into my Excel worksheet, and it automatically updates my PowerPoint. And what I need to do is I have to share these numbers with my management. So it's rather than trying to type it up in Microsoft Word or to explain it in an email, it is much more powerful for them to receive this presentation. Now you can do it in PowerPoint, you can save it as a PDF, you could copy and paste this into Microsoft Word as well and link it, if that would work better for you. But it's much more powerful for them to look at this data charted than it would be for me to try to put this into words or to present it to them. It's not something that I present to them. It's just something that simply they can compare and contrast from every 3 weeks to every 3 weeks. So when you think about, things that you do, if this is something that you're going to work with, this is a fabulous tool. Now let me show you how the two are linked. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to split my screen here for you. And I'm way too many things open. There we go. So if I go back to my 2022 budget, let me go back to my mortgage. Let's say that maybe the mortgage was. So when I update this, or let's just say that it went to November, see what happened? You saw this. If you weren't looking, I'll delete it. Focus your attention on the PowerPoint where I have my mouse. Delete that. See what it does, and then I'll undo it. So it's talking. It's updating in Excel. It's also updating in PowerPoint. Now, one thing that people ask me is, do I have to have both of them open at the same time? Absolutely not. When you open the PowerPoint, if you've updated your Excel, when you open the PowerPoint, it will update for you. So I can go in, let's just say, I'm going to go into cell phones. Let's say that in May, since that's the month that I'm in, we bought new cell phones. So we'll increase this to 2,600. And you saw that the cell phone increased over here on the bottom. So that's a really cool. It's a tool that I use all the time. Again, if you do have any questions, I am from time to time I'm focusing my attention on the chat. So let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so that is we did a mail merge. So we looked at Excel and Microsoft Word. We looked at Excel and Microsoft PowerPoint. Let's not save that. I think I'll just minimize that for right now. Let me go ahead and I'm going to go off of my agenda. Let me go ahead. I'm going to go to File, and we're just going to open up a blank workbook. So let's say that you have some information in another file that you want to bring into Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel can be used for multiple reasons. Initially, it was, for data manipulation for your spreadsheet, looking at data analysis. You can also use Microsoft Excel as a database. It does have database functions. If you've ever used Microsoft Access in the past, I'm not a big fan of Access, and maybe I just haven't had enough experience with it, but I think that it is a little tedious to use. So if you have information in Access and you think that maybe you'd want to use Excel, you can upload your information. You can import your information from Access to Microsoft Excel. You can also, I'm just going to come over here to the data ribbon. When you go underneath Get Data, when you see these are all the different sources that you can import data from. a SQL server, some of these things, I don't even know what they are. So those are from files. These are from databases, from Azure, from a Power Platform. Just, if you can think of it, you can import it into Microsoft Excel. And I just wanted to show you how this works. So I'm going to go from a file. I have a PDF. I have it open. Let me show it to you first. So here's my PDF. My PDF has a project data sheet, the project name, the start date, the end date, and the supervisor. Well, let's say that I want this, but I want to be able to manipulate this, and not in Microsoft Word. I want to be able to manipulate it. Maybe I want to do, maybe I want to create a Gantt chart in Microsoft Excel. So what I can do is I can come over to get data from file, from PDF. It's going to browse out for me. It's going to say, okay, where do you want to import the data from? And I'm just going to import the project data sheet and click on import. It's still thinking. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on page 001. Page 002 is empty. So I'm going to select page 001. It's got my information in there. And I can tell it to go ahead and load the data. And there's my data. Now, obviously, I'm probably going to want to manipulate it somewhat, but it did bring my data into Microsoft Excel from a PDF. And again, you can import from just about anything you want to, from text, from CSV, from the web, from a table or a range, from a picture. I think that's interesting. I don't have an example from a picture, but that's a good one that I have not spent a lot of time looking at. I don't know if I have a picture with anything. Yeah, I don't. Okay. So something for you to look at, play around with. So you can import data into Microsoft Excel from any source that you want to. Let's see, I'm just gonna minimize some of these because just in case you have a question and you want me to go back to it. Okay, so now let's look at linking from within. So this is just a quick PowerPoint that I put together, and I'm just going to go ahead and you can see that I've been using this file for quite some time. So here's the presentation, here's the agenda, and just some information about myself. So the point of this is, in PowerPoint, you can choose to show PowerPoint in a manner where you're in a linear manner where you're going from one slide to the next. And that's probably the way that you typically have utilized PowerPoint or have seen PowerPoint utilized. However, you also have the ability to insert links. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my first slide, or that's where it all began. And I'm going to go to the insert ribbon, and I'm going to go to link, and I'm going to come down here to insert link. Now, what I want to do is I want to place it within this document. So that's what it defaults to. Typically, it's going to say existing file or web page, but we want to create a link from within this PowerPoint presentation. So place in this document where it all began, click on OK. Now, if I go into the presentation mode, and I hover my mouse over, it's going to take me to where it all began. The keyboard shortcut for inserting the link is Control K. So I'm just going to go through, I'm going to put my links in. All right, so now what I need to do now, this is much more like you're on the internet because I have my links. Now what I need to do is I need to go to my individual slides and I need to create a back arrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to insert and I'm just going to take a shape and what I want is just a little back arrow. We'll just have the shape fill be white, and then I'm going to do a Control K, and I want it to take me back to my agenda. All right, and so now I'm going to copy this, and I'm just going to go to each slide. I don't have that many. Well, I guess that's it. Okay, so now if I go to the Life of Julie and go into the presentation mode, what I can do is I can go in and now I've got my different links. So if you want a PowerPoint presentation to be non-linear, or you want people to be able to look at just a specific item, you can put those links in. Well, a very common use for this is the game Jeopardy. People put together Jeopardy games for different events. And you can click on it and have it be interactive. So if you want a game to be interactive, you can do that very easily. So I'm just going to click on where it all began, and it will take me to that slide, and I can click on the back arrow, and back I go. Okay, so that's working, you know, from within, but kind of a fun thing to know. Okay, so now I'm going to go, I'm just going to open up a blank Word file. And we're going to look at some other capabilities of linking. So if I type in www.huskers.com, when I hit the space bar, that turned into a link. So if I hover my mouse over it, hold down the Control key, I get the hand like I'm on the internet. When I click, it's going to open up this website. It's a little bit slow, partially because I am in Zoom. Seems to slow my machine down a little bit. Oh, I'm going to skip that verification. It's opening over here on another monitor. And there is my link. Now you can put that link not only in Word, but Excel, PowerPoint, any of the Microsoft Office applications. So that's one way of doing it. Now, I like to disguise it, okay? So if I put in, whoops. So I can just go into Huskers and do a Control K. What do I want in there? www.huskers.com, click on OK. Now I have another link. You may note that, let me make this a little bit bigger. You may note that one is purple and one is blue. And that's because this is a followed link and this is a link that has not been clicked on yet. So if I hold down the control key and click, it's going to open that website back up. Here it is. Brings that up for you. So you can disguise it, or you can put it in just the website itself. Like I said, I like to disguise it. If you want to insert a picture, go to stock images. You can create a link out of a picture. Now I went to stock images, so we have to put in some pretty generic words. So I'll just grab this volleyball. That's a big volleyball. And I can do a Control K and insert my link from this picture. And again, here is the website. You can also, if you want to, you can insert another file. So if you're working from within and you want to be able to find another file, I can go to the insert into links, and I can tell it that I want to link the 3D reference. So now the 3D reference is a Microsoft Excel application. And it is opening that for me here on another window. I just drug it over, but you can see that here's my template. So you can you can link to different outside sources. You can link to different files if you want to. You just have to think about what you want to do. And again, all of these, I used Microsoft Word as an example, but you can do this in Excel, PowerPoint, the majority of, Microsoft Teams, OneNote, all of those have the same capabilities for you to link all of that together. I'm just going to pause to see if you have any questions. Or you want me to demonstrate something else, just let me know. We've got a few minutes left here. All right. With the couple minutes that I have left, I do want to just go in and talk a little bit about Accelerate. If you are interested in learning more about Excel, there are applications. The applications are open for Accelerate. I believe that you have until January 3rd to apply. What exactly is Accelerate? Accelerate is 12 hours of free training on Microsoft Excel. This particular cohort begins January 14th and ends February 18th. It is every Tuesday from 11 to 1. It is via Zoom. You will need to have a PC and at least Microsoft Excel 2016 or newer to attend. If you don't have that, the DoSpace can accommodate you with a laptop and a place to attend for Accelerate. But like I said, it is via Zoom. You will have the opportunity to turn on your cameras and your microphones if you would like. If not, the chat is available. So if that's something that you are interested in, or you think that, you know somebody that would be interested in that, please, let them know. I have in the past, I have also had, teenagers, in Accelerate that, maybe, someone's being homeschooled. I had some students that were homeschooled and, their parents signed them up for Accelerate. They are more than welcome to join as well. So if you go ahead and look at the calendar, let's go ahead and look at the calendar. I can't believe that we are almost days from 2025. And make sure that you go in and look at the calendar. In the month of January, I am doing a 4-part series on the integration of AI in Microsoft Office. So looking at mainly Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and how you can utilize AI to assist you with creating fabulous PowerPoint presentations, or with your writing skills. There's all kinds of great things in here as well. So make sure that you're looking at the calendar. Those folks at the Do Space are working super hard all the time. They are. Let me. I would have to email. I don't have anything to do with the application process. Deshauna, if you want to email me, I can email the Do Space and find out for you, that's for sure. I'd be happy to do that. So if you want to just, if you can either put it, send me your email in a private chat, or you can email me at jdospace@gmail.com. I'd be happy to find out for you. Yeah, so make sure that you check out the calendar. Because lots of fun things going on. Not only do I facilitate the Friday Lunch and Learn and Accelerate, but I also enjoy attending different webinars on blogs and sustainability and some different things like that. So make sure that you're going in and looking at that. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at jdospace@gmail.com, and I will have a fabulous New Year's Eve. Somebody asked me this morning what I'll be doing. Absolutely nothing. But stay safe. And I will look forward to seeing you in 2025. Take care, everybody. Oh, okay. Thanks to Shauna. I will email them right now and ask them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
I'll see you on the email.